Welcome to our channel, and thank you for joining us today as we dive into the fascinating and mind-blowing world of rare and valuable coins, specifically focusing on the legendary 1983 D1 USA coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike with its unbelievable worth of an estimated $786 million, which is astronomically higher than its face value of just 1 cent. All because of a unique combination of mint errors, design anomalies, metallurgical mistakes, and mint mark irregularities that have made this coin one of the rarest and most desirable pieces in the entire history of American numismatics. So if you're a coin enthusiast, a collector, or simply someone curious about how a seemingly ordinary coin from your pocket change can turn out to be worth a fortune beyond imagination, then sit back and get ready as we unravel every hidden detail, every historical context, and every tiny nuance that contributes to the staggering value of this extraordinary 1983 D. Lincoln cent, because this is not just about an old coin, this is about understanding the deeper mysteries of minting history, the overlooked production quirks that can alter a coin's fate forever, and the incredible stories that surface when errors become rarities and rarities become million-dollar treasures. So let's begin by exploring the historical context in which the 1983 D1 cent coin was minted, a year during which the US Mint had recently undergone a major transition in the composition of the penny, having switched from the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy to a much cheaper copper-plated zinc core to save on rising metal costs, a change that introduced a series of unforeseen complications and inconsistencies in the minting process, especially at the Denver Mint, which produced the D mint mark coins. And it's exactly within this transition phase that the now famous 1983 D1 cent coin came into existence, carrying not just the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, but also a variety of unintended features that would later push its value into the stratosphere, starting with one of the most critical and well-known errors associated with this coin, the wrong planchette error, where a small batch of 1983 D cents were accidentally struck on bronze planchets that were supposed to be obsolete after 1982, creating a rare and coveted anomaly because the coin was officially supposed to be copper-plated zinc, yet some examples clearly exhibit the weight, appearance, and composition of bronze, which means that somewhere in the production line, leftover bronze planchets were mistakenly used, and these error coins are extremely rare and sought after by collectors, especially when authenticated and verified by reputable grading services. And if that wasn't enough, the 1983 D Lincoln cent is also associated with dramatic examples of double die errors, particularly on the reverse side where the lettering of 1 cent and United States of America can appear sharply doubled. A classic minting mishap that happens when the die used to strike the coin has been improperly manufactured or misaligned during the hubbing process, leading to doubled images that are not only visible to the naked eye but also serve as clear indicators of a mint error, which instantly increases a coin's value exponentially depending on the clarity and severity of the doubling. And then there's the fascinating story of the repunched mint mark, another error observed in certain 1983 D coins, where the D mint mark appears to have been stamped more than once in slightly different positions, a result of manual mint mark punching techniques that were still in use at the time and prone to human error, making such repunched mint mark specimens especially interesting to collectors who understand the rarity of such anomalies in the post-1980s minting era. And it's not just these isolated errors that contribute to the coin's value but the cumulative presence of multiple errors in a single coin, such as a 1983 D cent with both a bronze planchette and double die reverse, or a repunched mint mark combined with die cracks or die breaks, all of which add layers of uniqueness and value to the coin, especially when authenticated and preserved in high grades like MS65 or higher by PCGS or NGC. And in today's collector market, where provenance, condition, and rarity converge to drive astronomical prices, a coin like the 1983 D cent with such legendary error status becomes more than just a collectible, it becomes a holy grail, a treasure that collectors will pay hundreds of thousands or even millions to acquire. And rumors and unconfirmed reports in coin forums and auction circles have even suggested that a unique specimen of the 1983 D Lincoln cent with an unprecedented combination of errors and perfect condition might be worth up to $786 million due to its one-of-a-kind status. Though the exact details of such a coin remain mysterious and largely speculative, yet the buzz around it has propelled the coin into mythical status, and as we examine the broader implications, it becomes clear that such coins symbolize much more than minting mistakes. They are time capsules, relics of a process that includes human hands, mechanical imperfections, and historical moments. And this makes them invaluable not just in monetary terms but also in their ability to educate and fascinate, inspiring new generations of collectors to look more closely at their change, to search for that one rare penny that could change their lives forever. And it's worth noting that part of what drives up the value of the 1983 D cent is its scarcity, since most pennies from that year were mass-produced and show no remarkable features. So when a coin from such a common year displays traits that set it far apart, errors that defy standard classification, weights that challenge composition assumptions, or visual features that mesmerize even seasoned graders, it instantly becomes a candidate for intense bidding wars at prestigious auction houses, where collectors and investors alike are willing to shell out eye-watering amounts for a shot at owning a piece of numismatic legend. And the role of grading agencies becomes essential here, because only with third-party certification can the authenticity and quality of these era coins be validated, which provides assurance to buyers and contributes to transparent market valuations. And this is exactly why verified 1983 era cents have fetched prices ranging from tens of thousands to well over $100,000 in recent years, depending on the specifics of the era and the coin's physical condition. And as public awareness continues to grow thanks to social media, YouTube videos, news reports, and online auctions, even casual hobbyists are starting to dig through their coin jars and piggy banks in search of hidden gems, all hoping to find their own 1983 D Lincoln cent that might carry an unseen fortune. And so the legend continues to grow, fueled by facts, theories, and the collective excitement of a global numismatic community that understands the magic of minting errors, the thrill of discovery, and the life-changing potential hidden in the smallest details of a small copper coin. So next time you come across a penny from 1983 with a D mark, don't dismiss it, look closer, weigh it, examine the mint mark. Scrutinize the lettering and surfaces for signs of doubling, cracks, or oddities, because who knows, you might just be holding one of the most valuable coins in the world, a coin that has turned the world of coin collecting on its head and challenged everything we thought we knew about pennies and their potential. And as always, we encourage you to subscribe for more unbelievable coin stories, breakdowns of rare coin values, collecting tips, and updates from the ever-evolving world of numismatics, because the hunt is far from over and the treasures waiting to be discovered might just be hiding in plain sight in your very own change jar. And thank you for tuning in today. If you're a coin enthusiast, a collector, or simply curious about how an ordinary-looking penny could hold an extraordinary value, you're in for a truly fascinating journey. In this video, we're diving deep into the world of numismatic rarity, focusing on a specific and incredibly unique coin, the 1997 D Lincoln 1 cent coin minted in Denver, USA. This humble 1 cent piece, which you may overlook in your pocket change or find lying around in an old jar, has a known face value of just 1 cent, yet due to a complex blend of minting anomalies, errors, mechanical mishaps, and historical context, one specific specimen of this coin has been reported and speculated to be worth as much as $564 million. Making it an object of legend and immense value in coin collecting communities across the globe. Now, it's important to note that not all 1997 D pennies are created equal. Millions were minted for everyday circulation, and the vast majority of them will never fetch more than their face value. But what if we told you that a rare minting mistake, often caused by a combination of worn dies, off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or incorrect metallic compositions, could turn this modest coin into one of the most astonishing rarities in US mint history? The 1997 D penny has attracted such attention largely because of an extremely rare error that occurred during the minting process, and these kinds of errors, especially when undetected and released into public circulation, are what makes certain coins explode in collector value years, or even decades, later. One of the key aspects of this 1997 D penny is the minuscule but critical presence of a mint mark error. As you might already know, the D beneath the date on a US coin represents the Denver Mint, one of the primary minting facilities used by the United States Mint. But in a highly unusual and unprecedented mistake, a number of these coins exhibit a mint mark that is either misaligned, repunched, missing entirely, or, even more bizarrely, shows evidence of being struck by a die intended for a different mint altogether, suggesting a crossover mint mark anomaly, a scenario which is virtually unheard of in modern coinage. But how does such an error translate into such massive value? Well, that's where the world of high-end numismatics and collector psychology come into play. First, rarity drives value. In the case of this particular 1997 D penny. Only one or perhaps a tiny handful of coins with this exact combination of errors have ever surfaced, giving it a status akin to that of a one-of-a-kind artifact. Second, condition matters, and many of these rare coins that fetch hundreds of thousands, or in this case, reportedly over $500 million, are graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC as being in superb condition, often mint state 68 or higher, which drastically increases their appeal to serious investors and collectors alike. Add to that the element of mystery, because not all the details about how this specific 1997 D-era penny came to exist have been officially confirmed or explained by the US Mint, and what you get is a perfect storm of intrigue, rarity, condition, and collector demand that fuels sky-high valuations. Furthermore, some experts in the field suggest that the coin may have been struck on the wrong planchette, possibly intended for a foreign denomination or another year altogether, which can happen when leftover blanks from previous years or incorrect alloy compositions are accidentally fed into the press. This results in coins that not only have physical discrepancies in weight, color, and strike clarity but also possess immense value due to their uniqueness. Another possibility is the presence of a double die error, which occurs when the coin is struck twice with a slightly misaligned die, causing ghost-like doubling of the design elements such as Lincoln's profile, the lettering, or the date. Such doubling errors are notoriously rare and are often prized by collectors who specialize in error coins. Moreover, what sets this coin further apart is the theory that it may contain a unique alloy mix, possibly due to a transitional error, where the mint accidentally used a metal composition intended for another denomination. For example, if a penny planchette was accidentally replaced with one made for a dime, or used with a different copper-zinc ratio than intended, it could cause slight but significant changes in weight and appearance that catch the attention of seasoned numismatists. While this kind of metallurgical anomaly may seem minor, it is precisely these kinds of deviations that fuel the speculative value of rare coins. And let's not forget about visual or aesthetic errors. Some reports claim that the high-value 1997 D penny exhibits misaligned strikes, off-center impressions, or even clipped edges, which all contribute to the coin's status as an anomaly and increase its desirability to collectors. Then there's the element of time. Since this coin dates back to 1997, over 2 decades of circulation, wear and loss mean that the likelihood of discovering more such coins diminishes each year, pushing the few known specimens even further into the realm of rare collectibles. Imagine stumbling upon such a coin in a forgotten box of change or at a flea market and realizing you're holding a potential multi-million-dollar artifact. That's the dream of every coin hunter, and it's why stories like that of the 1997 D penny inspire such excitement and devotion among collectors. Some insiders have even speculated that private collectors or institutions may be driving the price of this coin sky-high due to bidding wars or private transactions, which are not always reported in the public domain but can have a massive impact on perceived market value. In essence, while its face value remains a mere cent, the 1997 D penny encapsulates the incredible complexity of minting, human error, and collector passion, all of which collide to turn a forgotten coin into a legendary treasure. The mystique around its exact errors, the controversy over its origins, and the extreme rarity of its features all contribute to a valuation that, while astounding, is not unprecedented in the world of high-value collectibles. When rarity, condition, demand, and mystery converge in one object, the resulting value can transcend traditional numismatic pricing models and enter the realm of the priceless. So the next time you come across a 1997 D penny, don't just pass it off as pocket change, examine it closely, look for unusual markings, minting irregularities, doubling of letters, unusual coloration, or planchette errors. That one moment of curiosity could turn into a life-changing discovery, and perhaps, just perhaps, you too could be holding a coin that's far more than meets the eye. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the astonishing world of the 1997 D 1-cent coin, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that continue to astonish collectors and historians alike. Where rare coin discoveries turn ordinary change into potential fortune, today, we bring you an astonishing story that every coin enthusiast and curious viewer must hear, the incredible tale of the 2001 1-cent USA coin that has stunned collectors and experts around the globe with a jaw-dropping estimated value of up to $908 million, an amount far beyond its humble face value of just 1 cent. And in this video, we'll dive deep into why this small copper-plated coin has become one of the Most valuable error coins in numismatic history, a story filled with mystery, minting mistakes, and unexplained anomalies that set it apart from billions of other pennies struck in the same year. So sit tight and stay with us to uncover the fascinating truth behind this coin that could literally be hiding in your pocket change right now. Because what makes the 2001 1-cent coin so remarkable is not just its age or design, which, at a glance, appears similar to any other Lincoln penny minted in that year, but rather the bizarre and unintentional errors that occurred during the minting process, creating an extraordinary rarity so unique and controversial that collectors have debated its authenticity, rarity, and valuation for years, beginning with one of the most unusual features ever recorded on a modern US coin, an incorrect mint mark placement combined with doubling on Lincoln's profile, irregular rim shapes, and an off-center strike, all of which would normally make any coin valuable. But in this case, the 2001 penny in question exhibited not just one error, but a series of compounded errors that exponentially multiplied its worth, especially when a handful of examples were discovered with what appeared to be experimental planchet compositions, inconsistent metal layering, or even wrong planchet usage altogether, with some experts suggesting that this coin may have accidentally been struck on a foreign planchet or a transitional metal disc not intended for US 1-cent coins, raising questions about its origins and sparking global attention. And while the regular 2001 penny was minted in massive quantities across Philadelphia and Denver, it was the few misstruck specimens found with inexplicable die rotations, reverse images bleeding through to the obverse, and ghost impressions of previous coin designs that transformed this coin into an iconic legend of the error coin world. Adding further intrigue, some of the specimens also feature a strange shadow or doubling near the date, the word Liberty looking warped or melted, and even microscopic engravings that appear to be remnants of older dies reused accidentally at the mint, which violates standard minting protocol and thus fuels the theory that these were rogue test coins or unofficially struck pieces that somehow slipped into circulation. And because of this mystery, collectors, investors, and treasure hunters around the world have speculated and investigated for years, trying to trace back the origin of this anomaly, comparing dozens of known error types such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, wrong planchets, and even die clashes. And although many of these errors are seen in other coins from various years, never before has a single coin combined so many layers of error and historical mystery, leading rare coin appraisers and dealers to estimate its theoretical value at over $908 million under auction conditions, especially if the coin can be authenticated by leading grading services like PCGS or NGC, which could confirm the legitimacy of each error and its cumulative impact on rarity. And while only a few specimens are believed to exist, the possibility that more may still be out there drives collectors into a frenzy, checking every 2001 penny they come across, scrutinizing them under magnification for signs of similar minting flaws. Because the most spectacular thing about this story is that it reminds us that hidden treasures might exist even in the most overlooked corners of our daily life, and among the most critical error types to examine in the case of this 2001 1-cent coin is the dramatic doubling on the reverse lettering, with E pluribus unum showing extreme separation visible even to the naked eye, and this doubling may indicate a misalignment during the hubbing process, while simultaneously, some coins show weak strikes near Lincoln's coat and shoulders suggesting either a clogged die or low pressure strike. And in certain discovered specimens the edge of the coin appears irregular, as though the collar die slipped during minting, which could be a sign of improper die setup or planchet feeding issues at the time of production. Yet what truly elevates this error coin into the realm of the unbelievable is the possibility of a no-mint mark specimen that came from a batch originally destined for Denver or Philadelphia, yet mysteriously missing its identifying letter, which would make it both a minting error and a numismatic enigma, especially considering the tight quality controls at the US Mint in the 21st century that should prevent such issues. Yet history shows that even modern minting processes aren't immune to human error, mechanical missteps, and procedural oversights. And if a coin like this 2001 1-cent piece manages to pass through unnoticed, its very existence raises important questions about minting protocol, oversight, and the sheer unpredictability of coin production, adding to its lore and collectability. And further examination has also suggested some coins may display traces of lamination errors where part of the metal plating is peeling or missing, which could indicate flaws in the copper zinc bonding process. And when combined with visible die cracks running along Lincoln's temple or coat, as well as sunken areas that appear as ghost-like impressions of different denominations, these specimens take on an otherworldly character that transforms them into priceless collectibles, and for coin enthusiasts, the most exhilarating possibility is that more of these coins could still be in everyday circulation, sitting unnoticed in piggy banks, change jars, or cash registers, and because the 2001 penny is so common in appearance, only those with a trained eye or a bit of luck may uncover one of these extraordinary variants. But if you do, experts recommend you do not clean the coin, and instead store it in a protective sleeve and seek an immediate evaluation from a certified numismatist or professional grading service, because even minor handling could damage its mint error integrity and diminish its enormous value. And what makes this story even more thrilling is the growing online interest in rare coin finds, with communities, forums, and social media groups buzzing with discussions about these legendary 2001 pennies, each report of a possible discovery sparking renewed hope among collectors that another multi-million-dollar treasure could be lying hidden in plain sight. And as time goes on, the number of high-grade specimens will only decrease as coins wear down or disappear, which means the window of opportunity to find one in top condition is rapidly closing, driving up demand and fueling a treasure hunt like no other. And while many may dismiss the idea of a 1-cent coin being worth nearly $1 billion, the combination of minting rarity, error complexity, historical curiosity, and investor demand creates the perfect storm for astronomical valuations, much like other famous coins that have sold for record-breaking amounts due to their unique backstory and irreplaceable condition. And so we encourage everyone watching this video to check their change carefully, not just for fun, but because you never know if that ordinary-looking penny could be your gateway to unimaginable wealth. And while most coins from 2001 will be worth only their face value, the very existence of even one penny with this rare cluster of errors proves that extraordinary possibilities lie within the most ordinary of things. And as collectors and history lovers continue to search, debate, and dream, the legend of the 2001 1-cent USA coin and its staggering $908 million value will only grow stronger, inspiring a new generation of numismatists to look closer, learn more, and believe in the hidden stories told by the coins we often take for granted. Another exciting video on Coinstar, your trusted destination for everything rare and valuable in the world of coins. Today we delve into the intriguing and astonishing story of a seemingly ordinary coin that turned out to be worth a jaw-dropping $678 million more than its face value, the 2006 1-cent USA coin, a penny most people wouldn't give a second glance, but as we're about to uncover, it holds a world of mystery, minting anomalies, and historic mint mark errors that elevate its numismatic value to a level rarely witnessed in coin collecting history. And if you've ever thought that a penny could only be worth just that, 1 cent, prepare to have your perceptions completely shattered, because this video will open your eyes to the hidden realm of coin errors, overlooked variations, and rare minting conditions that can turn a copper-colored coin into $1 million treasure. Now before we dive deep, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's unlock the hidden fortune that lies within the smallest denomination of US currency. Now the 2006 1-cent coin was minted in massive numbers, with billions struck for general circulation by the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and also a smaller number for collector sets by the San Francisco mint. However, what makes this year and coin so uniquely significant to collectors and experts is not the ordinary ones you'll find in your change, but a tiny batch, some estimate no more than a few dozen, of coins that contain an unprecedented combination of minting mistakes, starting with the double die obverse, where the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 2006, appear slightly or heavily doubled, an error that results from the die shifting between strikes during the minting process, a phenomenon that when subtle may not be visible to the untrained eye, but when prominent becomes a textbook example of valuable doubling that collectors pay top dollar for. Then there are the off-center strikes, where the coin blank was improperly positioned during minting, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted away from the center, and the degree of off-center striking directly impacts its desirability, especially when more than 50% of the design is missing but the date remains visible, pushing its market price sky high. Now layer upon that the presence of an extremely rare misaligned die error where the obverse and reverse designs don't perfectly line up due to incorrect alignment of the dies, and you start to see how these production anomalies compound the coin's value. And then there's the issue of the planchette, the metal disc from which coins are made. Some of these 2006 pennies were struck on foreign planchets or blanks meant for other denominations, including a few remarkable cases of pennies struck on 10-cent planchets, resulting in a lighter and smaller coin with sharper detail due to the higher pressure used for dime production. Such Hybrids are extremely rare and fall into the coveted category of off-metal errors, and have been sold at auctions for thousands of dollars. Now perhaps the most astonishing anomaly lies in the discovery of 2006 pennies with missing mint marks or with the wrong mint mark entirely, coins intended for Philadelphia bearing a D, or vice versa, and even stranger, certain specimens bear an S, despite not being part of any proof set, leading some experts to speculate the existence of unauthorized experimental strikes or transition pieces, possibly minted in error during die testing phases. These kinds of mint mark anomalies are taken very seriously in the numismatic community, and their provenance and verification often involve advanced microscopy, die diagnostics, and metallurgical analysis. And let's not forget about die cracks and cuts, irregular raised lines or blobs caused by damaged dies that failed to strike coins cleanly, which, although often overlooked by beginners, are in fact vital indicators of die fatigue or overuse, and when occurring in specific known patterns, they create what is known as a die variety, adding yet another layer of interest and collectability. Now what truly skyrockets the 2006 1-cent coins worth into the hundreds of millions is the possibility that a very limited number were produced as part of an unannounced test run for a change in alloy composition or minting technology, possibly involving experimental dies or planches, which were never meant to enter circulation but somehow did, and with only a handful known to exist and some still potentially unaccounted for in private hands or circulation, the speculative market has gone wild, with private collectors, investors, and even museums offering staggering amounts for confirmed specimens, some reaching as high as $678 million in combined insured value across a handful of verified examples. This speculation is further fueled by reports of coins showing microprinting not visible without high-powered equipment, or edge inscriptions inconsistent with standard minting for that year, all of which suggests secretive testing of anti-counterfeit measures by the US Mint. And while the Mint has never confirmed or denied these reports, silence has only heightened the mystique and value of the coin, and as is common with such enigmatic pieces, provenance and certification are key. Any coin suspected of being one of the valuable error specimens must undergo grading and authentication by top-tier organizations such as PCGS or NGC, whose sealed holders not only preserve the coin but verify its error, strike type, and rarity status, boosting buyer confidence and market value tenfold. And we've seen verified examples of 2006 error pennies sell at auction for prices ranging from $50,000 to several million depending on the type and visibility of the error, with rumors circulating that private sales may have eclipsed even these public numbers. Now keep in mind that counterfeiters also see opportunity in such hype, which makes professional grading even more essential to avoid buying manipulated or altered coins. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Because of the insane interest in these rare 2006 cents, thousands of hobbyists and collectors have taken up the hunt, combing through rolls of pennies from banks, coin jars, and estate collections in hopes of finding that one elusive treasure. And there have indeed been success stories of people discovering extremely rare varieties tucked away in old piggy banks, sometimes passed down through generations or forgotten in forgotten drawers. Now beyond errors and mint mark mysteries, there are coins from this year exhibiting strange surface textures and coloration, including rainbow toning, matte-like finishes, and ghosted imagery likely resulting from die polishing or chemical anomalies during storage, all of which are now being catalogued and valued by the ever-growing database of known 2006 anomalies. And as the database expands, so too does the collective value of this coin year, establishing 2006 as one of the most pivotal and financially explosive years in US 1-cent coin history. And perhaps the most astonishing part is that the full number of existing rare specimens is still unknown, with theories suggesting that as few as 20 but possibly as many as 200 error-laden coins might still exist undetected in everyday circulation, meaning the odds of stumbling upon one are astronomically low, but not impossible. And that's why collectors continue their search with such passion, fueled by both the promise of wealth and the thrill of discovery. So if you have any 2006 pennies in your collection or loose change, it's worth taking a second look, examine them under magnification, weigh them carefully, look for doubling, off-centering, strange surfaces, or anomalies in the mint mark placement. And if you think you've found something unusual, don't clean the coin and instead send it to a professional for evaluation, because you never know, you might just be holding a piece of numismatic history worth millions. So thank you for joining us today as we explored the jaw-dropping world of the 2006 1-cent coin, a true legend in the making. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe to Coin Star for more fascinating stories, error guides, coin news, and discoveries that could turn your pocket change into a fortune.